In Brazil, the 17th BRICS summit moves forward aimed at strengthening Global South cooperation. Pope Leo XIV appointed Thibault Bernay, Archbishop of Chambéry, as the new president of the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors. And in Syria, civil defense teams and the National Fire Department continue to work tirelessly to control the fires that have devoured vast expanses of forest and rural land in the province of Latakia in northwest of the country. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from Telesur Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. The first day of talks at the 17th BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, came to a close Sunday with the participation of heads of state and world leaders. The bloc's final declaration for the first round of talks expressed the member countries' rejection to international blockades and to the genocidal actions and the obstruction of humanitarian aid by the Israeli regime against the Palestinian people. It also calls to create the necessary conditions to guarantee a lasting peace in the Russia-Ukraine conflict and reaffirm the bloc's commitment to advance equality, democracy, collaboration and mutual respect among the countries of the Global South. And to go deep into the relevance of this meeting, we invite Dr. Yvonne Teyes, international law expert. Hi, Yvonne, and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Alejandra. Happy to be here.
Yvonne, to what extent has BRICS evolved from an economic bloc into a geopolitical counterweight to Western-led alliances like, for example, NATO, G7?
Well, the fact that the BRICS began in 2006 with only 5 countries and now it includes 11 full members represents, a greater impact, taking into account that this expansion of the BRICS represents over 46% of the global population and controls nearly half of the global oil production. That means it gains a broader voice on global trade, finance, and diplomacy. However, due to this economic and geopolitical weight, the BRICS hasn't been. I mean, they are not pretending to be just like the anti-Western movement or the anti-Western group by itself, because they are echoing for the return of the respect of multilateralism, of the respect to international law, to international legal regulations regarding commerce. So what I think is they do represent a counterweight. They do represent a very important voice for the Global South and for the developing countries. But what I find interesting is that they are not presenting themselves, the countries lying within the BRICS group, they are not presenting themselves just as a counterweight, but a direct counterweight to the Western powers, but just like another scenario. But however, we all know what these countries represent, as I said before, regarding economy, global trade, finance. So it's like a soft power that we can see over here regarding what is behind the BRICS. And as I want to highlight what I said before, is the fact that they are not presenting themselves as a challenging power, but just as a soft power with all these characteristics that I have already mentioned.
And also, one of the main themes of this 17th summit is multilateral peace, is security architecture as well. How might the expansion of BRICS with countries now like Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia reshape the bloc's position on global conflict resolutions, taking into account that this summit is actually taking place a few weeks after the 12th-day confrontation between Iran and Israel?
Yes, well, on the first thing is that this geopolitical, this expansion increases this geopolitical power, as I said before, this geopolitical weight. But also it reaches some kind of complexity regarding agreement, because those 11 countries over here, those are very divergent and different political regimes, ranging from very liberal democracies to some very authoritarian regimes, very, very different. So that could be, and that could, we know, of course, that that's like a challenge for a consensus, an agreed and a simple consensus around the BRICS, because we see that we have different positions over here. For example, regarding the Israel and Iran conflict. So it represents a very difficult diplomatic position. For example, Iran recently admitted that the BRICS represented and expressed their solidarity with this country. And it also has sought for this solidarity among the BRICS. However, Russia and China have expressed their qualified support for Iran. They have called these actions, the Iran's actions, as self-defense against the Israeli aggression. But Brazil, India, and South Africa, they have a restrained neutrality, I think maybe mindful of some broader international partnerships or regional implications. And I'm talking about the US, for example, because India is a strong partner of the US, also it's Brazil. So I think that this could be a kind of a very difficult challenge. Because, for example, we have to take into account the terms like self-defense, occupation, and those terms in the international political scenario are highly contested, are not that easy to qualify, and are not that easy to expose due to these diplomatic tensions. So I think that either this declaration has to come, and when the summit is finished, maybe they have to adopt a very diplomatic, very kind of a diplomatically vague or a kind of a symbolic language, because the different positions of the countries that are a part of the BRICS could represent a very different or very challenging consensus, just a straightforward consensus regarding this declaration and regarding this position. So this is some of the challenges that the BRICS face here, and also Brazil as well, because since it is the host and it has been like playing this position of neutrality, taking close ties with the US, but with this, of course, the difference that we all know, but also maintaining these other alliances over here and trying to strengthen the global South voice. So we have to look also to who's the host over here, and that will just bring more significance to what I just said before.
And mentioning other challenges, for example, technology and artificial intelligence are also being key issues in today's agenda. How can BRICS promote new frameworks for safeguarding national sovereignty in this digital age that is marked by disinformation and cyber interference?
Well, the BRICS, and also with a strong leadership of Brazil, they have advocated for very big reforms within the international system, like the IMF, for example, democratization of the IMF, the reform of the UN Security Council. So that means like breaking and changing some very strong global decision-making structures. In that sense, I think that this could be a very good opportunity to for Brazil to exert this leadership within the summit to adopt some of these topics, but with a strong advocate for the inclusion of these developed countries and these global south countries into these topics. I'm talking about artificial intelligence, new technologies. Let's also consider that we have very strong powers over here that are also taking the lead within the scope of technologies. And just let's think about China as the biggest example. So I think the advocacy here goes to the democratization of power and the democratization of these global trade chains. And that means that we can expect a kind of and I'm going to say the word again, a kind of a democratization regarding the usual powers always managing and handling these lines of commerce regarding these topics. However, I see as another challenge, for example, the absence of China's president, Xi Jinping. We know that the reasons why Putin is not attending the summit personally, but I don't think that, for example, regarding your question and regarding the topics that we're talking about, talking about technology and artificial intelligence, I think the absence of China, not the absence of China's presence, but the absence of the president could diminish a little bit the influence that Brazil is trying to take the lead within and towards these topics. But however, I don't think that this could or will stop at least the good faith and the good intentions to try to reposition this block, this counterweight block regarding this topic. So let's see what we can expect and what comes along after the summit is finished regarding the artificial intelligence and technology issues.
As you mentioned, let's see what happens. Thank you, Yvonne, for your time hearing from the South and taking us through the main highlights of today's agenda for this 17th summit.
Thank you, Alejandra. Always a pleasure.
We were speaking to Yvonne Tellez, international analyst, in the context of the 17th Summit of the BRICS. And now, with this special interview, we go for a first break. But first, remember, you can join us on TikTok at Telesur English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and more. We'll be right back. Welcome back to From the South. On Saturday, Pope Leo XIV appointed Archbishop of Chambéry Thibaut Ledverny as the new president of the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors, an entity dedicated to combating abuse within the Church. Following his appointment, Archbishop Berny expressed his honor for the trust placed in him and his full awareness of the grave and sacred task of the Commission. Berny assured that this commission will help the Church become even more vigilant, responsible, and compassionate in its mission to protect the most vulnerable among us. The French Archbishop was already a member of the commission created by Pope Francis in 2013, which until now was chaired by U.S. Cardinal Sean O'Malley. The Episcopal Conference of Panama has expressed concern over serious events that put at risk the environment, national sovereignty, and in general the lives of the citizens of the country. Although the Panamanian media has focused exclusively on highlighting the call made by the church to teachers, inviting them to return to academia, religious leaders have made serious allegations regarding the militarization of rural areas around the Indio River. It was within the framework of the 223rd Ordinary Assembly, where the bishops also made urgent calls and expressed concern about the surrender of national sovereignty, interference by the United States government, and also the possibility of establishing foreign bases in the national territory.
El tema del embalse de uso múltiple que tiene proyectado la...
The issue of the multi-purpose reservoir that the Panama Canal Authority has planned for the Indio River is becoming a big problem. Because there have been communicative vacuums, and there has also been, from our view as pastor of this region, manipulation of information. What you have said about the census, they use it as a means to say that the people have accepted the reservoir. I think that is precisely where one of the main manipulations lies, and I say this with full knowledge of the facts. Many farmers have refused to take the census to receive the survey in their homes. The government is entering. Those who are doing the census are entering the communities with police, which is militarizing the area.
Bolivia's Minister of Hydrocarbons and Energy, Alejandro Gallardo, warned that the country could lose an opportunity to position itself in the international lithium market if progress is not made with the approval of the agreement signed between Bolivian lithium deposits and the Chinese consortium Broadband Capital (CBC). As he explained, projections indicate that the price of lithium will reach its highest point between 2031 and 2032, so it is essential to start now with the reconstruction of the plants to take advantage of that scenario. The contract with CBC includes an investment of more than $1 million for the installation of 2 industrial plants with a capacity to produce between 10,000 and 25,000 tons of lithium carbonate per year. Some parliamentarians have also expressed the importance of the bill advancing in the legislature. China-Venezuela Expo Fair consolidates the strategic alliance between both countries. More details in the following report with Leonardo Urrieta.
En el marco del 51 aniversario
On the 51 anniversary of the establishment of relations between China and Venezuela, both nations strengthen economic and friendship ties.
This is for the world to know not only about China, but also to know the potential that this country has, and that as the era is advancing, technology is changing, and that is why we are all here in exchange and learning.
The mining engine has made vital alliances with Chinese entrepreneurs for the production of bauxite, aluminum, and other minerals for the economic development of the country.
It
is good that our Chinese brothers and sisters give us the opportunity to include us and give us this technology that we need so much. What for? For our growing population, for our children to learn about technology, to learn about artificial intelligence, which are completely necessary.
China has been with our country in the most difficult moments and is currently maintaining significant investments, especially in the aluminum sector, which already has investments of great importance for development and to continue leveraging our country's industrial engine.
In technology, the alliance between China and Venezuela is playing in favor of the development of artificial intelligence.
We are also involved in all the developments related to the expansion of forward coverage, which in its first phase was achieved in 60%. We are implementing all this technology throughout the national territory, and we are at an advanced stage to develop new things at a satellite level as well.
This
exhibition served as a framework for cultural and commercial exchange between the two nations.
En la Cámara de Marcos da Silva, Leonardo Urrieta, Telesur, Caracas, Venezuela.
In Buenos Aires, Argentina, Peronism reached Saturday a first deal at the brink of provincial elections. Subsequently, a commission for making up a Peronist front was authorized. The agreement was sealed at a congress in the municipal theater of Merlo City, where officials gave the green light to form electoral fronts with other forces. In this way, after much work and tense meetings, 3 days before the deadline to register alliances, they unanimously passed the creation of a local government committee made up of Máximo Kirchner alongside 4 other leaders, aiming at forming a new coalition to enter the September and October contest. Therefore, the majority of the Peronist leadership celebrated the deal dubbed the Merlo Agreement. And we have a second short break coming up. Before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at Telesur English, there you'll be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage, and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break. Don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. Early Sunday morning, at least 17 Palestinians, including children, were killed and several more were injured when Israeli fighter jets launched a series of airstrikes across the Gaza Strip. The deadliest attack took place in the north of the city of Gaza, where an Israeli airstrike targeted a house sheltering displaced members of 2 families. In this context, medical sources confirmed that at least 10 civilians were killed in the attack, others were wounded, and several people are still missing under the rubble. In another attack, 4 people were killed and others wounded when Israeli planes bombed a house in the Al-Tufa neighborhood east of the city of Gaza. Meanwhile, in southern Gaza, an Israeli drone strike targeted tents in the Al-Mawasi area of Khan Yunis, killing 3 civilians. An investigation by the British newspaper The Financial Times revealed that the U.S. consulting firm Boston Consulting Group designed a plan for the possible relocation of more than 500,000 Palestinians outside the Gaza Strip. The U.S. company worked for 7 months on the secret project called Aurora, which was tasked with estimating the cost of displacing more than 500,000 people from the enclave. According to the report, each Gazan would receive a relocation package of $9,000, which would total about $5 billion. It was even calculated that a forced expulsion would be cheaper than keeping humanitarian assistance within the territory. The revelation of this project increases the tension on the already critical situation in Gaza and raises new questions about the true intentions behind some international aid programs in the region. In Iraq, millions of Muslims gathered in the city of Karbala to commemorate Ashura, a day of mourning in the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad. On Sunday, Iraqis dressed in black gathered around the shrines of Imam Hussein and his brother Abbas, performing traditional mourning rituals. Among the activities is the Nasri, which distributes free food and drink to mourners, and the disadvantaged, representing the spirit of sacrifice and solidarity embodied by Imam Hussein. Ashura is a religious act and commemorates the Battle of Karbala, in which Imam Hussein, together with his family, was murdered after refusing to swear allegiance to the Umayyad Caliphate, consolidating the schisms between Sunni and Shiite Islam. The annual pilgrimage is one of the largest religious events in the Shiite world. In the United States, at least 67 people died from flash floods in Texas as the search for missing persons continues. The highest death toll was in Kerr County with 59 fatalities, 38 were adults and the remaining 21 were children. 18 adults and 4 children have yet to be identified. 11 campers from Camp Mestek, a Christian summer camp for girls, remain missing, along with a counselor. They indicated that more than 400 first responders from 20 agencies are conducting search operations using dozens of canine police dogs and more than 100 air, water and land vehicles. And like this, we have come to the end of this year's brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram and TikTok as well. For Telesur English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.